It's Berrybrook, but with sibling rivalry. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob, I'm the Cowhat Librarian, and I'm here tonight to talk to you about Kyle's Little Sister by BonHyung Jeong. It was good. It's a graphic novel that was on the new shelf in my library, and I was drawn to it by the art style that reminded me very, very strongly of the Berrybrook Middle School series of graphic novels by Svetlana Chmakova. As the story starts, Grace is about to start middle school. She's excited, but she's also worried because she's grown up in her brother Kyle's shadow. Random teachers who meet her remember Kyle and expect her to follow in his footsteps. Random kids who want to be her friends often do so to get to Kyle. Even her own mother will sometimes prepare food saying, "Oh, what's your favorite, honey? I made your favorite," for Grace to find out that, in fact, her mom made Kyle's favorite food. It's not easy being his little sister. And to make things worse, she's now attending the same school as him again. Well, things get a little better though. Her two friends, Amy and Jay, also attend the same school. And they've been friends for a long time. They're friends with Grace for who she is. They have common interests, including the music that they enjoy. They're always on the lookout for new information about their favorite artists. And the only relationship they have with Kyle is that Jay has a small crush on him that's developed after years of hanging out with Grace. But in Grace's opinion, that's not a problem, because in her opinion, Jay is way too good for her annoying brother Kyle. But things come to a head early in the school year. The kids are having a double sleepover with all their friends over, and during the night, Amy keeps pushing and pushing Jay to hit on Kyle and to let him know how she feels, and Jay wants none of it. Well, during the ensuing fuss in the back as Jay tries to leave, Amy blurts out that Grace doesn't want Jay and her brother to end up together, and blows up at Grace and says that the only reason she's been friends with Grace, as Grace has feared about every relationship in her life, is because she wanted to hang out with Kyle. Grace is devastated. In one fell swoop, she's lost both her friends, one to a misunderstanding, and one to the fears she carries with her through her whole life. She's devastated. And life isn't much fun after that. She's lost her best friends. She has no one to talk about music with. She has no one to eat lunch with. She has no one to play video games with except her annoying older brother. And she's in kind of a funk for a little bit. Well, two other girls at their school see her and invite her to have lunch and start talking with her and being friends with her. And they even start taking revenge on Amy, ostensibly on Grace's behalf. Grace doesn't encourage them in these efforts, but the girls will bump into Grace or trip her or spill things that belong to her, and they keep up this pattern of bullying for quite some time. And as the story goes on, it's a question of whether Grace will realize what kind of people they are, whether she'll be able to patch things up with Amy and Jay and be friends again, and whether she'll ever be able to escape her brother's shadow. It was really good. I recommend it, and I recommend you go borrow it from your local public library. If you liked things like Svetlana Chmakova's Berrybrook Middle School graphic novel series, you'll find a lot to like here. If you liked Victoria Jameson's graphic novel Roller Girl, I think you'll find a lot to like here. The writing is really good, the characters are well formed and realistic, and the art style, a mix of clean lines, flat colors, minimal shading, and sort of muted tones, is very, very effective at conveying the mood. Now, with all that said, there are spoilers ahead because I have to talk about the deal breakers. Now, this was good. It was great. But there was really nothing new here. The story of sibling rivalry and alienation from friends as a result isn't new. And it really wasn't a surprise to me that the two girls who decided to be friends with Grace turned out to want to meet her brother. It was completely obvious right from the get-go, and it was sort of disappointing how blatant it was. That there wasn't a lot of subtlety there, in my opinion. I was also a little bit disappointed with the fact that Grace herself never really stands up to those girls for being bullies and tells them to leave her alone. Ultimately, it's instigated by her brother's actions. He notices them and that they're keeping an eye on him and that they're hanging around with Grace, and he takes it upon himself to tell them to stop doing what they're doing and that they better not involve his sister. So again, like, even in the resolution for the story, Grace is in her brother's shadow. It's not her own actions, it's not her own agency that brings an end to those things, and that's a little disappointing. Still, I liked it. I liked Grace and her friends. I would really like it if the author could find a way to make a sequel featuring the same characters. But it felt a little safe. There's nothing wrong with that, but I would have liked a little more risk, a little more subtlety maybe. With that, thank you for listening to me yammer on and on about Kyle's little sister. If you were interested in what I was talking about, by all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back and see what else I have to talk about from the Cowhat Library. Thank you. Bye now.